You are watching Business Article with Swati Singh.
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल बिजनेस आर्टिकल और मैं हूं स्वाति सिंह। तो आज की हम जिस लेटेस्ट टॉपिक पे बात करेंगे दैट इज एनपीए। यस, हमने अपने स्कूल एंड कॉलेज टाइम्स में एनपीए के बारे में काफी चीजें पढ़ी है एंड व्हेन यू आर प्लानिंग एंड यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग एग्जामिनेशन फॉर बैंकिंग सेक्टर देन आपको एनपीए के बारे में भी बहुत सारी नॉलेज मिली होगी। तो आज हम इस एनपीए के बारे में ही द लेटेस्ट जो भी इसके बारे में हमने जितनी भी चीजें की हैं आज हम आपसे शेयर करेंगे। सो लेट्स गेट टू द पॉइंट। एनपीए फुल फॉर्म इज नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स। NPA expands to non-performing assets. Reserve Bank of India defines NPA as any advance or loan that is overdue for more than 90 days. An asset becomes non-performing when it ceases to generate income for the bank, said RBI in a circular from 2007. To be more attuned to international practices, RBI implemented the 90 days overdue norm for identifying NPAs has been made for applicable from the year ended March 31, 2004. Depending on how long the assets have been an NPA, there are different types of non-performing assets as well. अब हम बात करेंगे, now come to the topic of what is an asset for a bank in NPA. Let's go for it. Asset means anything that is owned. For banks, a loan is an asset because the interest we pay on these loans is one of the most significant sources of income for the bank. When customers, retail or corporates are not able to pay the interest, the asset becomes non-performing for the bank because it is not earning anything for the bank. Therefore, RBI has defined NPAs as assets that stop generating income for them. Categories of NPA, let's have a look. There are different types of non-performing assets depending on how long they remain in the NPA category. First, substandard assets. Substandard assets, an asset is classified as a substandard asset if it remains as an NPA for a period less than or equal to 12 months. Second, doubtful assets. An asset is classified as a doubtful asset if it remains as an NPA for more than 12 months. Doubtful assets. An asset is classified as a doubtful asset if it remained as an NPA for more than 12 months. Third, loss assets. An asset is considered as a loss asset when it uncollectably or has such little value that its continuance as a bankable asset is not suggested. However, there may be some recovery value left in it as the asset has not been written off wholly or in parts. Now come to the NPA provision. So guys, keep aside the technical definition. Provision means an amount that the bank set aside from their profits or income or in a particular quarter or non-performing assets. Such assets that may turn into losses in the future. It is a method by which banks provided for bad assets. And to maintain a healthy book of accounts, provisioning is done according to which category the asset belongs to. The categories have been mentioned in the above section. Not only the type of asset, but the provisioning also depends on the types of bank, like Tier 1 banks and Tier 2 banks have different provisioning norms. Guys, I am giving you two examples of NPA, and that too you have known very. That is, first is Kingfisher and second one is Jet Airways. Now come to the GNPA and NNPA, we can find out. Banks are required to make their NPAs numbers public and to the RBI as well from time to time. There are primarily two metrics that help us to understand the NPA situation of any bank. NPA numbers for a bank will be mentioned in the standalone financial statements of a bank. NPA in absolute numbers. GNPA, we have already talked about the GNPA and NNPA. So we can go through the GNPA, the whole thing. Okay. So GNPA stands for gross non-performing assets. Now come to the NNPA. NNPA stands for net non-performing assets. NNPA subtracts the provisions made by the bank from the gross NPA. Therefore, net NPA gives you the exact value of the non-performing assets after the bank has made specific provisions for it. Now come to the NPA and NPA ratios. NPAs can also be expressed as a percentage of total advantage. It gives us an idea of how much of the total advances is not recoverable. The calculation is pretty simple. GNPA ratio is the ratio of total GNPA of the total advance. NNPA ratios uses net NPA to find out the ratio to the total advances. So guys, today we have discussed about the NPAs. So here I'm just giving you the small description of NPA. So this is the total sum up of NPA. So high NPAs may not be favorable for a bank. This is because they are assets. They are not performing. High NPAs means that banks have too many loans that have become non-functional or are not rendering any interest income to the bank. Are you guys listening now? Are you getting now? So banks can either keep the NPAs in their books in the hope that they may be able to recover it or make provisions for it, or else banks write off the loans entirely as bad debt. However, there are many other factors to access a bank apart from NPA. That's why I give you the two examples of NPAs, that is Kingfisher and the Jet Airways. So guys, this is for all today. So I'll meet you from another video with an interesting topic. Till then, goodbye.